Hello and welcome. How are we all this morning? Just trying to get rid of something that I don't want on my screen that's come up anyway. But there we go. So, it's summer has arrived. Good morning, Nora. Yes, summer is here. It's apparently, according to my laptop, 26 degrees, which is astounding. Hello, Pam. I'm glad you're well. So, I do need to leave a little bit of time because I know some of our overseas visitors take a little longer to jump on. So today we are crafting with things from Sale-a-Bration, amongst other things. You're watching me on your iPad in the garden, Lorna. That is perfect. I have to say I wish I was in the garden, but I'm not. I had to close my blind. Oh, we may be being joined by a cat in a moment because I've got one crying outside the window. Good morning, Jenny. And good evening, Jenny. Absolutely. Good morning, Diane from California. Good grief, it must be the crack of sparrow. Good with you as well, Nora, before the rain. I don't think we're going to get rain. I'm probably going to have to let the cat in, which is going to be a nightmare. Hello, Tamra from Amsterdam. I will bring him in and introduce you and then take him out again. Come on, pets. Come on, in you come. Come and say hello to everyone, and then we'll say goodbye. So, this is Pepper, who has just been crying outside. Hello from Kansas. Good grief, another early bird. Hello, Ruth. So yes, this is Pepper. Say hello, Pepper. Say hello. Wave, wave. There we are. Now you've got to go out because you'll be annoying otherwise. Bless you. You can come back in later. There you go. So that was Pepper. So who's joined? Claire's joined. So Ruth has joined from a very lovely sunny Lancashire. Oh, nothing better than joining me when you can't sleep. I'm sorry you can't sleep. That's not fair. But anyway, so yes, Pepper will no doubt be back in later on. He could actually climb in through the window if he really put his mind to it. Our cat we've decided our cat has got opposable thumbs. That one anyway. We have two cat flaps because we've got a front door, a porch, or lobby, and then another door, and there's cat flaps in both. Good morning from Indiana. Ah, reminds you of your Rasputin. I have to say he is the softest animal in the world. But we've worked out, so in the evening, because we like them to be in at night, we put the cat flaps so that they can only come in, they can't go out. And he's worked out that because he's got such long paws, he can actually scoop the doors open. So yes, that's a challenge for us, and he can do both of them. He's not done both of them in one evening yet, but I can see that coming. Why would he climb in if you let him in? Well, I've taken him back out again, Jenny, because he'll be climbing all over my work desk if he comes in, because he won't leave me alone. He's lovely, but it would be challenging to do a YouTube live with Pepper in the room. But he could climb in through the windows if he really wanted to. But he just wanted to cry, as in, I want attention. But it's fine. He's gone away, which means he's fine. He just needed a little bit of attention. Anyhow, morning B. Yes, he can climb in the window. So the windows are open, and he could, if he really wanted to, he could climb in through them, but he likes to just be demanding. So I'm just prepping the stamps that I'm going to use because I've not used these ones yet. They are from Sale-a-Bration, and as you will have gathered from the title of today's video or recording, live, whatever we're going to call it, we're using textures and frames. Why should he climb in through the window if he knows you will be there to open the door? Because I don't always open the door. He was just in luck. If I was prepping for a class or something like that, he wouldn't be allowed in even if he was crying. So, yeah. I mean, he has a very, very large part of my heart, but there are limits. Anywho, so looks like people have successfully joined. So let's flip the camera down, because, you know, that's novel in my life, having not done it last week. So we are going to use Textures and Frames, which is on page, let me grab my catalogues, is on page 12 of your Sale-a-Bration brochure. Oh, Lorna, absolutely. So yes, Sale-a-Bration brochure, page 12. This has been quite popular, but I think equally people don't know what to do with it, so hence I'm using it today. And for my first card, I'm also going to be... Oh, no, that's my second card. For my first card... It might be on the roof now. I'm also going to be using the In Your Words, which is the host stamp set. So, who have I missed? Christine from Canberra, hello. What do I do to prep my stamps? Right, so it's only photopolymer stamps that I do this with. And I know, for those of you who follow me regularly, you know what I'm about to say. They use a spray, like a non-stick spray, when they're making photopolymer stamps, so that they release. And sometimes that non-stick spray remains. So either you can just rub them on your hand, you can use a white eraser just to give them a key. You can just stamp with them a few times and clean them off, but not use them in anger, as it were, because they may be a bit blobby. So yeah, just clean them a few times. As I say, you're just trying to get that finish off. So Jenny agrees that it's why I do that when you've got staff. Hello, Stampin' Stilettos. Hello, and wow, haven't you been doing well? Just saying. She's part of the team that I'm part of, going up the way. So sideline, but she's done so well. So, morning Wendy from Swansea. I've seen this stamp set but didn't have a clue what to do with it, how to use it. Excellent, good. Love the stamp set for quick cards, good. We've both had a good year, haven't we? But you've had a stonking year. Morning Leslie. Dogs have masters, cats have staff, absolutely. And you're very welcome, Christine. Right, so I'm going to make two quite different cards. So the first one I'm going to make, I've got my ink pads in the wrong order, is going to be a more masculine card using neutrals. And then my second one is going to be more feminine using in colours. And it's the current in colours. So as in, by current, I mean the new ones, not the outgoing. Right, don't need that. And there will be quite a lot of stamp cleaning going on along the way because I will be using lots of stamps. And I need to get a piece of scrap to stamp off with. So I'm going to start with a piece of Very Vanilla. I haven't designed this, I'm just going for it. Just to say. So, oh, and I know what I haven't brought out, but it's fine. It's fine, it's not a problem. So I've got Soft Suede, Crumb Cake and Sahara Sand. Now, Sahara Sand goes a little bit of an odd colour when you stamp it on Very Vanilla, but it's fine, it's just a little green. So what I'm planning is that I'm going to have my sentiment on these stripes, and then I'm going to have the other shapes kind of random around. I haven't chosen colours for any particular reason, it's just colours, okay? So I'm going to start with one of my favourites, which is Soft Suede, just because it has a statement. Now I will be trimming this down because I have a mat that I've already prepared. I've even got my card base ready. I know, it's just mad. So I'm going to start with my square frame, and just to make sure that it is properly prepped, I'm going to stamp, and that looks fine. Now, the advantage of these is if you don't stamp well, it doesn't actually matter because they're random. So I'm going to stamp this I'm probably going to go off the edge. So, right. As I say, I'm going to go random. So I'm going to start at an angle, because why wouldn't you? And I like going off the edge because it looks a little bit more meant. In fact, I may even go off the top, although I am trimming down, so this may not end up looking like this. And then I'm just going to come, actually I'm going to turn it over so we get that little angle like that. So that is all I'm going to do with that stamp for this card. So I'm just going to clean that off. Now this is a chamois that I've cut in half, and it's in one of the now retired half wood mount cases, but they will fit in a standard, if you don't cut them, they'll fit in a standard stamp case, which you can get on my online store. So this is the solid, which, because I've cleaned it, is stamping really nicely. And all I'm going to do is, I think, actually stamp kind of not well, as in I'm not lining things up. I'm going to do a bit of a twizzle. So sometimes you can just, you know, don't worry about it, just go random. So just so you can see that, hopefully. If you go random, it doesn't matter if you don't stamp well, just saying. So that is our soft suede. I love, love, love soft suede. It's a really rich colour. It does have some red in it, which is why, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there is now a slight pink tinge to this, because red stains stamps. So I'm going to use crumb cake next with my circles, and again I'm going to check that that's stamping okay, which it is, but again it's meant to be a bit random. You've got to love sneezing with a sore stomach. Oh, have you got a sore stomach? I'm sorry. But yes, absolutely. I was at my personal training group session yesterday morning, and we were doing core, which I need desperately, but I was expecting my stomach, my core, to be really uncomfortable today, and actually it's not, which is good. It means it's beginning to work, so that's always good. Right, so this is the really large splodge, and again this will show whether I have prepped it correctly. Now I've got a dip, and I don't know why. Possibly I've got a dip in the stamp, so what I'm going to do is bring in a stamping pierce mat, because I actually want second generation, but I want second generation of all of it, not just the middle. Got a little bit of a dip. It may be how I've put it on the block. Let's have a little play. It may just be that there's a dip in the middle. Good morning, Helen from Spring City. I've just been hula hooping. Wow. Wow. I remember hula hooping. Right, let's see if this is better. Looks as if it might be. Yes. So I just needed to replace the stamp. So stamp off, and then this is bigger than the frame, or it's, you know, roughly the same size, I guess, as the frame. But again, I'm going to be a bit random with how I stamp. So if you've got a photopolymer stamp, and when you stamp it, and I do always recommend stamping before you use it, if you've got, I'll bring it up and show you in a minute. If you've got an area that is a bit, that isn't stamping correctly, take the stamp off and put it back on again. So the concern I had was this, it wasn't actually touching, the stamp wasn't touching the paper. So there are two reasons that could be. One, I had mounted it incorrectly, which is what it was. Or two, you needed the pierce mat. Actually three, because there could be something underneath your surface. Anyway, that's the crumb cake. So now I just need the Sahara sand. New version of a hula hoop. Ooh. Ooh. Maybe I should be doing some of that. So I'm going to use Sahara sand, and I'm going to use it full strength, and it is quite green, especially on Very Vanilla. But I'm just going to check it's all right. Yes, it is. But it is quite a green ink. And I am going to twizzle it a bit. But I want this to be the area where I end up putting my sentiment. And this bit here is going to be blank. So this is what we've got. And it's a sort of greeny grey. How many ways can you hula hoop? Oh gosh, there are so many ways you can hula hoop. You can have it around your arms and all sorts of things. It's just, it can be an amazing form of exercise. First thing, of course, is to actually be able to get the hula hoop to hula hoop. Right, now the bit I forgot was some scrap of Very Vanilla. So into my drawer, and that piece will do nicely. Some scrap of Very Vanilla. And I have already got out some dies that I'm going to use. Now, obviously, you don't have to use dies. You could just cut. So that's going to go away for the moment, as is that. Now, later on, for those of you in the UK, I will be giving you a sneak peek of my latest class, which will be going, well, the advertising will start very soon, as in hopefully this week if I get everything done, everything else that I need to get done. So this is Sending This Card for No Particular Reason, and it is from the Sale-a-Bration host set. So it is one for either getting together with people to put in a big order, or just put in a big order. So Sending This Card for No Particular Reason. It's just a nice small but long greeting, which is kind of what I was looking for. Smart Hula Hoop has a weighted ball on a track. Oh wow, that's wow, I think is the word I'm looking for, and if it isn't, it will do. Right, so I'm just going to chop that down because I'm going to die cut this, and I'm going to use my little mini. So now very soon, I know I keep saying this, I will be taking a few days off later this month, and replacing live videos with recorded content, which will include, thank you Tamara, not Tamara, Tamara. So I will be, one of the recorded videos that I will release in place of the live will be my craft room tour following my major cleanup. Now I'm going to run the risk of not sticking this down with a post-it note. It's going to be fine. I think sometimes we forget that we have neutrals and that we have Very Vanilla. So sometimes I think it's just worth remembering. So this die is from the Harvest dies, which are the ones that go with Nature's Harvest, which is the class that I'm going to be doing later this month. So, or shortly we'll be releasing it. So yes, it's one of the sentiment dies from that. Don't need those for a while. So we've got our background. This is going to go over the top, but I want to cut this down. I have got Early Espresso matte. I've got a crumb cake card base, which is just half a sheet of card that I've scored and cut so it's long and thin, but you can do it short and fat, up to you. Doesn't make any difference to the result. That's going to be popped up on dimensionals, but first thing I want to do is cut this down. I want a reasonably wide frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop a bit off the top. I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off on two sides. So a short side and a long side. And I think I'm going to go that way. Must give my trimmer a clean. It's got splodges on it, but never mind. So some of what I've got to finish this week is I've got my team retreat this weekend on Sunday, and I haven't done the videos yet. You finally sorted some old stash and donating to a local school. Oh, brilliant. Well done, Wendy. Wendy is coming to my team retreat because Wendy is on my team. Right, so no, I don't want that. I want seal. That's what I want. I don't like, I know I keep saying this, I don't like using liquid adhesive on vanilla or white, because it can, if you use too much, it can kind of, I don't know, wrinkle the card a little. I mean, it's not that obvious probably to the recipient, but to me it would be awful, because that's just the way my brain works. Right, that looks reasonably straight. No, it doesn't. It looks reasonably crooked. If you don't press down your seal immediately, you do get a little bit of wiggle room. Not as much as if you're using Tombow, but some. Right, there we go. So that's going to go on there, which I will use Tombow for. I will be late as I don't finish work until 10. That's fine, don't worry, Leslie, you can be late. Leslie is also coming to my retreat. It's all going to run through a Zoom room, but all the project stuff will be pre-recorded videos, because I'm always concerned that someone's going to dig up our Wi-Fi cable. So I like to make sure that even if I can't come online, that everything's there. Right, so this is just going to go here over the Sahara sand, and that will be that card done. Not difficult. This is a really quick card. I mean, crying out loud, it's only 20 something past 11 and I blithered at the beginning. So, you know, these are going to be quick cards. Because sometimes we need quick cards. So do remember that during Sale-a-Bration you can get free product just by placing a qualifying order. I'm going to go slightly out to the side actually. I want it offset. I want it straight as well. That looks straightish. So yes, for every £45 or €60 for those of us in the UK and Europe, you get to pick a free item, and Textures and Frames is one of those free items. There are lots, and for some of them you need a 120 order, so £90, €120 order. But yeah, right, so I want to put some, where's it gone? There we are, linen thread, just a bow. Just a random bow, but it's going to be quite a long random bow, and I'm going to probably have it up the top somewhere. So linen thread, I'm getting to the end of the reel, so it's very curly. So to straighten it out a little bit, I'm just going to rub it with my bone folder, which takes a little bit of the curl out. And then, Chanel, are you going to Crowton not this coming weekend, but the following weekend? It's probably quite a long way for you, because we've got an upline retreat face to face on the weekend after my team retreat. Is it hard to see then the sentiment, or is it? It's a very, very, very light sentiment. It's a very thin sentiment. Oh, bless you. Thank you. You are so kind. Thank you, Chanel. I tried being other people, and you know what? It doesn't work. there's only one of each of us, so being each other is everything. No, it's not you, Jenny. It's a very, very narrow sentiment, but sometimes that's what you need on a card. So I'm just going to trim these ends so that they are the same length. And then that, I'm just going to pop up the top there for no other reason than I fancy popping it up the top there, just with a glue dot. Now, you can obviously do multicolours of these. Thank you, Tamara. You weren't aware of it? Oh, okay. I mean, it did sell out quite quickly, because obviously there's restricted numbers still because of stuff. But there'll be others. There will be others. So there we go. So it's a bit random having that up there, but hey, I don't care. It's my card. Right. Okay. So we're now going to go bright, or, you know, colourful is probably a better word. Oh, I haven't done the lining. Oh, I haven't done the lining. Got to do the lining because I'm doing linings now, which is just unheard of for me because I'm so bad at writing, and I generally do the linings when I've written the sentiment before I stick it on, because my writing is so appalling. Your surgery has been postponed because of COVID. I'm sorry, Jenny. You know what to do. I know what to do now. Oh, with the stamp set, I'm guessing. Right, so I'm using Sahara sand again, and I'm just going to do that. Now, I want to go second generation as well, but let me find somewhere that has a... I am not going to do it instantly because you can see what's happened. The UK Jenny is just dreadful for regular stuff at the moment because of the pandemic. I might actually kind of fill in the lines a bit. So I've kind of done it on top of itself, just for something. I never seem to have simple but wow cards. Now I will. Sometimes simple is fine. The thing to remember, now obviously a lot of our circle of friends, because we are crafters, will be other crafters. However, a lot of our circle of friends won't be. So frankly, they don't know how simple something like this is to put together, and that you can put it together in under half an hour. And that's with blethering along the way. So they will just be stunned that you made it. And the big thing is you spent the time to make it. A friend of mine had her birthday last week, and I sent her a card, which was one that I had done for Simple Stamping Saturday. It was one of, I think it was the stepped up version. It was the cocktail one I did recently, using Nothing's Better Than. And we saw them over the weekend, so I took her birthday present, which was, surprise, surprise, a card kit. And I did a tag that was a shaker tag, and she was just transfixed by this tag. Didn't take terribly long, but that's not the point. Anyway, so this is our first card. So let's now do our second card. So we're going white as a base, and I have got... And we're going to use a different sentiment. So I've got Pale Papaya, Fresh Freesia, Polished Pink, and we're going on a polished pink background with a Fresh Freesia matte. Now, have I missed anything? Thank you. I'm so pleased you like the card, Chanel. Pain, I'm in pain. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jenny. Nothing wrong with simple. It's so tiring being in pain. It is horribly tiring being in pain. It's actually quite tiring being with someone who's in pain, having had my husband, who is now totally better, in pain. Polished pink, yeah. We like a bit of polished pink. So I'm going to do a similar but probably not the same design. I do need my scrap again. And some chipped nail varnish apparently, which I hate. Yes. Right, so I'm going to go pale papaya, polished pink, fresh freesia. There is logic. A little, anyway. Right, so I'm going to start with the circles this time, just to change it up, for no other reason than that. And again, I'm going to trim this down. Let's do some turns. Actually, I'll go right off the top. And I think I might come into the middle as well, just for a bit of a change. So that's that one. I can leave that probably now unclean. Unclean. Ooh, that was a bit odd. Okay, I'm going to twizzle my stamp a bit. I think because I use the middle of the pad, I get ridges where there's more and less ink. Now this may be a mistake. I may need the, oh no, it's fine. I was going to say I might need the stamping mat, but it's fine. I'm going to go slightly over the edge of the circle that time. And again, offset. The shapes, they would be, I think you're right. I can hear the plane going over. Not quite sure what the reference to the plane is, but... Oh, if you heard something outside, that wasn't a plane, that was the building site. I'm kind of numb to it now, but it will finish soon, hurrah! Right, so, polished pink and the rectangles. Ooh. Yes, no, I know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm doing, sort of. Because I'm going to do something slightly different with this one. So that's that. So this one I'm going to use the stripes stamped off. Turn over. Right, that's fine. I haven't missed anything. That's always good. So going back to simple cards versus wow cards, particularly for anyone who is a demonstrator who is thinking about running classes and things, remember that a lot of the people you're going to be talking with probably don't craft. So sometimes easier is, or more straightforward is better, because otherwise you can almost terrify people by being too complicated. Oh, I missed a... I've just cleaned a stamp that wasn't dirty, I'm just saying. Just saying. Right, so fresh freesia. Just make sure that's fine, yes. Ooh, I can't decide. I might do a bit of both, actually. Or I might just go... No, I'm going to go pale. I'm actually going to go pale, and I might go pale and stamped off. So I'm going to go upright, because I can. So we're going to have stripe. Oh, I didn't need to do that, did I? I'm doing. So I am going to twizzle. Didn't actually need to ink it again before I stamped off, but there we go. Once upon a time I had a brain, but as we know, brains could be dangerous. Right, okay, so again, I've just made a background. It's nothing that exciting. So let's clean that before I put something on it. You've got to detox your, de-sex your dog. Oops. Have you told it? Right, so don't need that anymore. So we've got a really bright background. I have got ready on a block from Light-Hearted Lines, which is page 31 of your annual catalogue. So lots of fun lines. I like the "I'm sorry for what I said when I'm hangry." That can sometimes be me. I like also "Thanks for lending an ear and keeping a straight face." But we're going to use "Don't grow up, it's a trap." So I'm thinking a younger person's card. And I need some scrap white, which I have in here, which I probably need a piece of that. Ooh, yeah, they're that sort of size. I will be ignoring the phone because hubby knows I am live. So I was going to go evergreen, evening evergreen, but I don't think I will. I'm going to go polished pink. Change of plan and all that. So doesn't need to be straight because I'm going to die cut it, but it's kind of good if you can start with it straight. And I've said it before, I will say it again because it probably could do with repeating. If you've got a sentiment and you put it on your block straight, if it's not actually 100% straight, you will probably stamp it crooked because you'll be fixated on the edges of your block. If you put your sentiment on crooked, you will look at the sentiment, not the block. It's just how your brain works. So yeah. So this is one of the dies from the stitched rectangles, or if you've got the original set, which is what I've got, they're called rectangles stitched. But I have them filed under stitched rectangles because otherwise I can't find them because I look for the name in the current catalogue and they're not there. Because I do file, part of my reorganisation is filing my dies alphabetically, which is kind of sad for me. I'm trying to be more organised. Right, so this I am going to stick down with a post-it, or a bit of a post-it. Don't need all of a post-it. You can use washi tape, but the only problem with washi tape is that sometimes, and particularly I find in warmer weather, ooh, I've just thought of what else I can use on this card. Sometimes in warmer weather, washi tape can be very sticky. It's one of those weird things, Helen. It's just how your brain works. I don't know, and it's not. This is not an original me. I can't remember who I got it from. It may have been Rachel Tessman, but it may have been Connie Stewart. It was one of the American demonstrators, I think. Can't remember. I mean, it's something I've been doing for years now, so it's really quite difficult to remember that far back. Right, so I definitely don't need this anymore. And my whatnots can go away. Pick up the scrap that was already on one of my cutting plates. Now, because these are stitched on both sides, they are sometimes a little troublesome. I've just taken an order from Amazon, which I've opened only to find I'd ordered 10 of vinegar instead of this. Oh dear. Yeah, they're very good, Helen. Both of them are very good at giving tips. Right, so that's going to go on there on dimensionals, but I want to add some fresh freesia. Oh, those of you in the In Colour Club, this is the last month. Right, so it must be Rachel Tessman. Thank you, Wendy. So yes, this is the last month of In Colour Club, and your packs will be going out later this week, so you can look forward to getting those. Now I need to cut this down really before I put the ribbon on, otherwise I'm going to struggle to cut it down. Right, so again I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off 2 sides. I'm going to look at whether it's, yeah. The reason I hesitated on this is whether I thought it was going to look odd having white space at the bottom, and actually I think it's fine. If that had been wider, I would have taken it off the top so that it was meant that I had a large white space at the bottom, but that's fine, my head can deal with that. Let's face it, my head has to deal with some things because brain dangerous. Right, so that's going to go about there. So as you know, what I like to do is kind of get it in place loose and then line up with my grid paper. And then a bit of, actually I'll go that way, Seal Plus. Ooh, actually I'm going to wait until I've popped that one on and straightened that out. That's better. So that is our ribbon ready to go. And fresh freezer base and seal. There it is. Couldn't see it for looking. And I will be adding some Seal Plus to that ribbon, and that is so that I know it's not going to shift. Your shares and retreat items arrived on Friday. Yay! Oh, Barbara, have your swaps arrived? Because I want to share the swaps. We had a team swap, but I don't want to share them until I know that everyone's got them, and you are obviously going to be the last to get them. So if you can let me know if they have and if they haven't, when they do, that would be great. So that I can share with everyone. Right, so that's going to go there. This is really bright. No swaps yet. Okay, just let me know when they come. I'm going to see if I can... Yeah, you probably can send them back, Ruth. I have a neighbour who said to me the other day that they used my brain as a window so that the surgeon can... Yes. We pick on each other all the time. So it's not one. We pick on each other all the time. Oh, okay, I get where you're coming from. Yes, sorry. I might still go off and have something there. So what I'm going to do is get my card base ready. Again, half a sheet folded in half. And what I do is, because A4 card is a really odd size, and I'm not that good at getting it exactly in half, so I always make sure I check. And if one side is longer than the other, I put that at the front because it makes it easy to open. Question about Seal Plus. Every time I try and use it, the backing comes out with the sticky, and I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. Not quite sure what you mean. So you're getting the tape comes out. Sounds like it's loose when you put it into the case. But it's difficult without seeing it in person, I think. So let's open this up. So what you want to make sure is that when you put it in, this is taut, and then drop it in. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what you mean. Yes, so it comes out with, yeah. So you want to make sure that it's in, well in, and that it's taut, that this is taut when it first goes in. I think that may be the problem, but honestly I don't know. I've not had the problem, so I don't know how to rectify it, if you see what I mean. Tombow. And again, I like Tombow because it's got wiggle room. And wiggle room is always good. And as ever, I press from the back. If you're still having a problem, Helen, I'd talk to demo support. I'm assuming you are a demonstrator, but if not, talk to your demonstrator and they can talk to demo support. But that shouldn't happen. But the fact that it's happening all the time probably means it's something to do with your technique rather than the Seal Plus, but I don't know. As I say, it's one of those things I probably need to see happen. So I've done them a bit of a zigzag because I've got ribbon. Don't have with the regular Stampin' Seal. Okay. Weird. Don't know. I mean, mostly I've had people say they've got problems with Stampin' Seal. So again, I'm going to go off the edge with my sentiment. And I think I'm going to line it so that it's deliberately not in the middle. And again, that is so that it doesn't look off. Yeah, so just make sure it's all taut when you put it in. That's all I can think. Thank you, Lorna. Right, now, my team will know what's about to happen because they know me so well. In Colour Jewels. So, I have a few random ones that I'm going to use up first. So these are Fresh Freesia. So I am going to take the fluff off because that's always a plan. Actually, I'm going to go up there. So I'm going to have some Fresh Freesia round these. There. That isn't even that's a holiday rhinestone. And then I'm just going to have a scatter. So apparently I don't like using Fresh Freesia, so let's use Fresh Freesia. I seem to have more of those than anything else. So I'm just going to have a scattering. So this is an area of 3. You know me and my odd numbers. I hate even numbers when it comes to embellishment. Fluff. So I'm going to have 5 coming down. And I know 5 plus 3 equals an even number, but it's 2 areas, each with an odd number. Odd number, odd number. I know, I'm mad. It's just the way my brain works. Right, we've got to do our liner. I don't think adding a bow is going to add anything to that card, so I won't. I shall put my Freesia ribbon back in its place. And get my liner. 1 liner, 2 liners apparently, and my scrap. And this time I'm going to pick up on what Nora said, and I'm going to stamp some shapes that are not the same. So I'm going to do a rectangular frame in polished pink at an odd angle, because they're all odd angles anyway. And then I'm going to bring in, I think I'm going to go Fresh Freesia and the circle, and I'm going to do it full strength. That will dry lighter. At the moment it looks quite odd. Probably is quite odd actually. And then all I've got to do is pop it in the inside of the card and we're done! Another YouTube Live is done. So pop that away. Oh, and remember, so I was talking about going on personal training. I do group personal training, which is great actually. There's 3 of us that do it together, not the same 3 every time. And we do variations of the same thing, depending on how fit we are. And I have a problem engaging my core and my bottom in preference to my lower back, and as I have a lower back issue, what my trainer has said is I need to remember, bearing in mind I stand a lot during the day, that I need to push my hips forward so my back is straighter, and that will help immensely. So I've got to remember to do that, and I've just thought of it, so I'm doing it. So there we are, two cards. These are the same card, but different. So there we go. So who likes which one most? And I know they will be for different occasions. So who likes the neutrals and who likes the colour? I would love to know. So when do we get the timetable for the retreat on the 12th? When I have finished writing it, Barbara, which will be soon. But basically it's 10 till 4:30-ish. But later this week is the answer to your question, given that it's on Sunday. You're very welcome, Helen. I'm always happy to share. Many thanks for your cards today. Must go. See you on Sunday. Absolutely, B. You like the neutral? So the neutral is coming out on top at the moment. Regarding Stamp & Seal, it takes a long time to learn how to use it. You prefer Stamp & Seal Plus? I think it can be easier, Karen. Yes, neutral. So everyone's preferring the neutrals. Interesting. Christine likes the colour, but you like the pink. You like pink, so yeah. But as I say, sometimes we ignore our men, and I think every now and again we need to look at the men. So Ozpaws prefers the colour. But anyway, so I will be posting these on Instagram. So those of you who don't know, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. Oh, and please, before you go, do remember to give me some likes, because I like likes. So thumbs up would be lovely. I kind of like them both. One reminds me of chocolate, the other Dolly mixtures. That's clever, yes. You're very welcome, Nora. So yes, a few likes would be great. If you're new and you don't already subscribe, bottom right hand corner is the subscription box, tick box. If you don't already subscribe to my newsletter, please do sign up. That's over on my website, and there'll be a link to that coming below very soon, but it's oldstablescrafts.co.uk, and I will be putting these on my blog very soon. I've got quite a lot of things to blog, so I need to do quite a lot of blogging, but not until I have finished doing the stuff for my retreat. Have a super day, everyone. I will just flip up so I can say goodbye properly, as my mother always said. Always say goodbye properly. So, goodbye properly. A light touch, yes. If you press too hard, it causes difficulty. Absolutely. And if you have a problem with any of them not working properly, a silicone mat will help. Will give just enough resistance to get them running. And it won't stick because it's silicone. So, have a fantastic day, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, afternoon, evening. I will be live again this coming Thursday, 3 o'clock UK time in the afternoon. And I will have some other videos coming very soon. And as I say, it's probably next week I'm going to take off. So probably next week I won't be live. But thank you very much, everyone. And I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.